Hey there traders, welcome back for episode 53 from the stockbandit.tv. I sure hope that your trading week is going well. Alright, so in this episode, what I want to do is talk about sentiment. And that's kind of a fancy word for the prevailing mood out there. And it's something that the more that you trade, the more you're going to want to learn to gauge the sentiment. Now, understanding this, how sentiment works simply helps you get a better feel for the directional possibilities in the market. And what that means is when sentiment reaches extremes, such as when everyone's really euphoric and everyone's just so excited that stocks are going to go straight higher all the way to the moon, it's usually better to sell at that point than it is to buy, because if everyone's so excited and so euphoric, who's left to do the buying? Who's got fuel to push that move higher? On the other hand, when it gets really sour and when the mood is just so nasty and ugly out there, it's usually because everyone's afraid that the market's going to go straight down into the toilet. And, they've already taken action and they've sold their stocks and now they're waiting for the worst to come. But even at that point, when everyone's already afraid, most everyone have already sold their stocks and they've already taken action on that prevailing mood. And so as a result, it's oftentimes better to do some buying whenever that's the case. And so when an existing trend is in place, like right now, we've made a big move up from this March low and we've got a short-term uptrend in place over the past 6 weeks or so. Whenever we're in an existing trend like this, I find it pretty helpful to sort of measure what is the mood out there. I view it somewhat in a contrarian fashion, as I just described. So generally when we're in an uptrend, if there's still some pessimism out there that I feel like could fuel a continued move higher, then I want to stay open to that possibility. Well, today I was cruising through some blogs out there and I was really surprised at how many headlines I encountered which were really bearish in their tone. I saw headlines that said things such as, the sell-off should continue. I saw one that said, is this a seasonal sell signal for the market? One of them that I read said the S&P 500 is losing steam. Well, if I move over to the S&P 500, yeah, it is losing steam, and it has encountered this 875 level, which is extremely important. We tagged that last week, and this move up off the low has kind of stalled out a little bit here, and yet who's to say that we're not just basing here? And I'm not making a case for the bullish end of things. I'm simply saying, I'm never one to predict. I will tell you that flat out. But I want to bring forth a couple of points here with this and with these headlines that I'm seeing. First, yes, this bounce has lost its vigor. We saw a big move up off the low very quickly, and then the pace since then has been kind of gradual. And it's certainly possible that we could, roll over and crumble from here. That's definitely possible. Anything's possible at all times in the market, and if you haven't learned that yet, you're going to. So I do refuse to argue with the headlines based solely on that. But second of all, I really find it hard to believe that a turning point is going to be so obvious to so many people. If all these bloggers or traders are so certain that we're going to head straight south from here, then doesn't that come across as a little bit hard to trust? Because generally, in my experience, in the traders that I've encountered, not that many people are able to just nail a key turning point. And so, I just wanted to bring this up and put it out there as some food for thought in this episode. I don't want to be married to any single opinion, because I do believe that flexibility in the market and in trading is extremely important. But sometimes it can be really useful to kind of take the pulse of the sentiment out there of traders and see what you come up with, because it can oftentimes really help you stay open to the possibility of a continued push. All right, so thanks as always for joining me here, and be sure to join the email list if you're not already on there. I will be back soon with more videos, but until then, trade like a bandit.